Your paycheck just went up. Maybe it was a raise, maybe a new job, maybe a bonus that finally made the number look different. For a few days it feels incredible. You check the account twice, just to see it again. And then, quietly, without you noticing the exact moment it happened, it stops feeling like anything at all. That's the part nobody warns you about. The money is real. The feeling isn't lasting. Why does more money almost never feel like more money for long? Here's what's actually happening. Your brain is not built to measure your money in absolute numbers. It measures it in comparison. Comparison to what you had last year. Comparison to what your friends have. Comparison to what you almost had and didn't get. This is not a character flaw. It's wiring. And once you see it, you start noticing it everywhere. In the 1970s, an economist named Richard Easterlin studied something strange. As countries got richer over time, average reported happiness barely moved. He compared this across nations and across decades, and the pattern held: more national income did not reliably produce more national contentment. Economists now call this the Easterlin paradox, and it applies just as easily to a single paycheck as it does to an entire country. Growth doesn't disappear. The feeling of growth does. Think about the last time you got a raise. What did you do with it? For most people, the answer isn't savings. It's an upgrade, a better apartment, a nicer car, dinners out instead of dinners in. Not because anyone told you to spend it, because the moment your income expands, your sense of what counts as normal expands right along with it. Yesterday's luxury becomes today's baseline, and once something becomes your baseline, it stops making you happy. It just becomes the new floor you can fall below. This has a name. Economists call it lifestyle inflation. Psychologists call it hedonic adaptation. Both are describing the same quiet trap. Your spending rises to match your income, almost perfectly, almost invisibly, until the raise you worked so hard for disappears into a slightly nicer version of the life you already had. Here's the twist most people never see coming. It's not that money doesn't matter. It's that money matters far more at the bottom than it does near the top. In 2010, researchers Daniel Kahneman and Angus Deaton studied the relationship between income and emotional well-being using survey data from hundreds of thousands of people. They found that day-to-day emotional well-being kept improving as income rose, but only up to a certain point. Beyond that point, more income kept adding to how people evaluated their lives overall, but it stopped moving the needle on how good an average Tuesday actually felt. The exact number matters less than the shape of the curve. Money buys relief from hardship. It does not keep buying happiness at the same rate forever. So if the raise doesn't fix the feeling, what does? This is where most people get the story backwards. They assume the goal is to earn more. Earning more helps, but earning more without a plan for where that money goes just raises the size of the treadmill you're running on. You move faster. The scenery doesn't change. Thomas Stanley and William Danko spent years studying actual American millionaires for their research on wealth accumulation, and what they found surprised almost everyone who read it. The people with the highest incomes were often not the wealthiest. Many high earners had almost nothing to show for it, because their spending rose in lockstep with their paychecks. Meanwhile, many quiet millionaires had ordinary jobs and ordinary salaries. Their advantage wasn't income, it was the gap they protected between what they earned and what they spent. That gap, held onto and invested over time, was the real engine. Not the size of the paycheck, the size of the space beneath it. This is the part that changes how you see your own money. Every time your income rises, you get a choice, whether you notice it or not. You can let your lifestyle rise with it, dollar for dollar, until the raise evaporates into a new normal. Or you can let a portion of that raise go somewhere your daily habits can't reach it. Not all of it. You're not being asked to freeze your life in place, just enough that the gap between your income and your spending doesn't quietly close every time your income grows. Picture two people who both start earning an extra $500 a month. The first person spends every bit of it. Better takeout, a subscription here, an upgrade there. A year later, they've enjoyed some nice moments, and none of it remains. The second person redirects half of it automatically before it ever reaches their everyday spending. A year later, they've enjoyed some nice moments too, but there's also a growing account behind them that didn't exist before. Same raise, same starting point, completely different trajectory, 5 and 10 years out. This is why the feeling of being rich has almost nothing to do with the number on your paycheck. It has everything to do with the size of the gap you protect. You don't need to earn dramatically more to feel the shift. You need the gap to stop closing every single time your income rises. That's it. That's the entire mechanism hiding behind why raises feel so good for exactly 1 week and then disappear into the background of your life. Here's a question worth sitting with. Not what would you do with more money, but what would happen if the next time your income increases in any way, even a small one, You decided in advance that a fixed piece of it goes somewhere untouched before your daily life gets a chance to absorb it. It doesn't have to be complicated, it doesn't require a dramatic overhaul of how you live. It can be as simple as directing a percentage of every future raise into savings or investing before it ever touches your checking account. So the decision is made once instead of being renegotiated every single day against 100 small temptations. This is what compounding actually rewards. Not brilliance, not timing the market, not finding some secret formula. It rewards the boring, repeated act of protecting a gap and letting time work on it, quietly in the background while your attention is somewhere else entirely. So the next time a raise lands in your account and it feels incredible for exactly as long as it always does, notice what happens next. Notice the new normal trying to form around it. And instead of letting your lifestyle quietly absorb the entire increase, decide just once in advance what portion gets protected before it disappears into becoming your baseline. Your paycheck just went up. This time, let some of it stay up long after the feeling fades.